So you're looking at my main ingredients. Hey y'all, APG Jamie here. And today brings us hashtag 4th Art Saturday. Hashtag cookie. Y'all, this one challenged me, okay? But in the end, I think I got it figured out because if all else fails, why not make a little book art? That's where you make a book into art, or you make a book into art. You make a book that is art. Okay, that's it. That's the ticket. So I had a cookie box, of course, and cut it down. That's my faux chipboard, and we're using cardstock. I have various colors of brown because in my world, cookies are brown, sometimes blackish. Anyway, we're taking our cookie box. We cut it out with a circle die. There is a list of ingredients in the description box below. I do always call it ingredients. It's not just special for the cookie show. Anywho, I'm taking the cardstock because I didn't know what I was doing. You know, that's not uncommon. So I cut out these solid color or solid pieces of my cookie box, and then I'm like, I need to cover up the back, so I'm getting the brown for one side and then a tan color. I don't know, y'all, pick your colors. And we did that for the front, so we got a front, a back, and this is the front of our little book, which is actually the top of the cookie, and we're going to poke a hole in the middle of it with that die, which we did on all of them except the back. And we are inking around because, as you know, cookies are browner typically on the outside. I guess it all depends on what kind of cookie you're making, y'all. Anyway, mine are browner on the outside. And this is the bottom that I put the brown on, and now I'm going around the edges with black because that is kind of, it happens, y'all. It happens. So we're inking everything up, which, is inking. So now I'm putting my pages, which they all have a circle, a hole in them. They almost look like a donut or a bagel even. Anyway, I have a little piece of ribbon already on there. And I decided that wasn't working for me. I just, it wasn't working. So I got scraps of this cardstock and I cut out these little teeny tiny rectangular squares, okay? And then I'm folding it in my half. I don't know. They're not all the same size or whatever, but they're, close. Fold it in half so that I'm getting just a little hinge. Now, it's really small, y'all. Maybe half an inch. I don't know. They're small. They're tiny. I'm trying to show you. Watch. See? It's hard to hold on to. Anyway, gluing those on between each page and gluing one side to the bottom page and then the top part of that little hinge I'm gluing to the upper page, upper page, and I'm checking it to make sure I still have it in mostly round. And these are tiny because I don't know if you've ever made a circle-ish journal before, book, whatever you want to call it. You're very limited where you can put a hinge or a ring even, and that was the kind of thing kind of bother me sometimes. Anyway, I'm doing teeny tiny hinges, okay? I mean, it's not like this thing is going to get opened and closed and pulled on and, stories read out of it, because I didn't even put a story in this one yet. So I didn't like how my ribbon looked, so I cut it off, and I'm trying a different piece. Now, this is a very pale purpley mauve color ribbon thing, and it's pretty translucent. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, I chose it over a brown, well, let's just say brown, because I don't think I have any tan. Anyway, ribbon is because this practically disappeared within the color of the bottom and the color of the top. Now, it's not exact, but you know, I'm not an exact kind of girl. I'm more serendipitous. So anyway, this is, it's not really necessary because we have hinges on each page on the and the front and back cover, but I wanted just a little fancy edge for whatever bizarro reason, and I probably could have left it off, but there you go. So, fabrifix. It's an acetate type glue, and it rubs right off your fingers, sort of like, well, I don't know what it's like. Anyway, just using the bone folder, not a real bone, y'all, and to smoosh the ribbon into the fabrifix. So we're going to do a wax seal because this is my dollop of jelly. Oh, we're making thumb prints. Dollop, drop cookies with, anyway. You know, the kind where you make out your little circle and then you smoosh your thumb in it and then you put a dollop of jelly. Jam. Okay? I've most often seen it done with apricots or apricots, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It's apricot for me. Apricot. Yeah, I don't know which way I say it. Anyway, it's typically made with apricots. No, it doesn't even sound right, y'all. Anyway, so we're using some wax seals, and it's melting and melting, and it, yeah, because it's usually apricot. Apricot. Anyway, I'm using pink or orangey with the one pink in it, and then I decided to add a yellow to it, so I did that too. We stirred it up because I wasn't looking for marbly color. I just mostly wanted a solid color, and we've got our stamp on there. You know, it's the metal, and it impresses into the wax. And that's how you get your seal. Typically, you seal up envelopes with this kind of stuff and threads or whatever you want. I'm using for a dollop on my cookie, y'all, on the thumbprint. And I thought, well, that color is just not rich enough. And I was going to smear it in the fluid matte medium in there with my finger. And then I thought, no, just go ahead and use a brush. You got a brush, just use a brush. Okay. So see how much richer it looks? It just looks more richer. I mean, these are made from real sweet cream butter. Okay? Okay. I've never made these cookies. I just thought it would be a fun type of cookie to make into an art book art. So here I am melting the little dribbles left in my wax spoon there. Typically 3 of those little round wax pieces is enough for most seals, emblems, and because I was going to use wax to glue it into my book, I put an extra one in there, so you know, it all worked out perfectly. Serendipitous. So I'm dropping my jelly jam right in the middle of the cookie. Look at that, y'all. Doesn't that look darn near like a real thumbprint cookie? Almost, I say. We need to shiny up the top, because you know the tops of cookies are typically somewhat shiny-ish. They're not flat. Anyway, mine's shiny. Varnish. And I thought, well, we want to put this in a fancy bag, you know, like you would get if you went to a cookie store, but someone misfilmed. So it's this glassine. It was supposed to be clear glassine, but as you can see, it is not clear. Anyway, or well, translucent, not even translucent. So I cut it out into that size and that shape, and I used pinking shears across the top because, you know, a lot of those fancy shopping bags have the little pinked edges on it. Pinked. Ziggy zaggy, ziggy zaggy, oi, oi, oi. Anyway, I decided I'm going to put a window in it because remember, this is a fancy store. So they have windows. They have plastic see-through so you can see your $6 cookie. I have no idea how much they charge for cookies at these places, y'all. I'm just making up a story as I go along. So I got this clear plastic that I literally pulled out of my little trash bag. Because, you know, you can't recycle those things. They might want you to think you can, but you can't because they get caught up in the machines and buying the machines all up. And that's a whole nother video. So, packaging, double-sided tape. And at some point, I'm going to confuse myself as if that's a shock to anyone. You love me, don't you? Sure you do. Oh, this is a hop, y'all. There are links in the description box below. Please click on the new little phrase, ... more, so you can see more information, including a list of ingredients of what I used in this video. I always say ingredients. So we're using double-sided tape inside our fixing to be fancy store bag. I guess I should have put a gold seal on it. Oh, I should have done that, y'all, but I didn't. Think about it till right this second. So anyway, a little bit of double-sided tape didn't get covered up, so I smooshed it around, rolled it around with my fingers, and it pretty much, almost exactly, totally came off. So here we are using our double-sided tape. Why did I decide to use double-sided tape? Someone's asking. I know you're asking it. I can see the future. Anyway, because that's usually what I use to stick on the plastic windows. And because I had it out, I just thought, well, yeah, it's, you know, we'll be practically done. Don't have to wait for anything to dry. Because it's dry. But as you'll find out shortly, we do have to wait for something to dry. But, you know, it's only for a second because, you know, this video is edited down and sped up and portions removed for everybody's ease. Okay? Because it's a hop. Y'all need to follow the links in the description. Oh, also, please like everyone's videos. Leave them a kind comment. Share their videos. Okay? And if you're not already subscribed to their channels and you happen to like them, which I'm pretty sure you will, go ahead and subscribe. Click the bell for notifications if you have your account set up for notifications, and if they even do notifications anymore, because, you know, stuff changes all the time. Anyway, got our envelope all sealed up, and I didn't like how my cookie slipped down in there, and it's just like it just gets lost. And I thought, well, you know, at a fancy cookie store, they would put it on this pretty little card so that you could just slide this, you know, like a little tray in and out. Well, so I made one out of a piece of cardstock, and now we're using some Aleene's Tack It Over and Over. It's this magical goopy stuff that you put on, and when it dries, okay, it becomes sticky, but you can unstick stuff from it. It's kind of like that stuff they use on your junk mail, you know? You know what I'm talking about. The ones when your credit cards come in and they got that gooey stuff stuck to them. That stuff. Anyway, it's not that stuff, but it's kind of like it. So you got to let it dry, though. Got to let it dry till it's clear. So now we've got our cookie on our little fancy little card tray, and it's, you know, in our fancy bag that we didn't make up a name. We thought about it, but we're like, nah, it's too much effort for me today. Anyway, so here it is, and I did quite let it dry totally, but it was close enough. You can kind of see where it is. I'm sure on your big screen you can. And it does. And if it ever stops sticking, you can just wipe it off with a little damp paper towel, and it's just back to sticking. So, this is our cookie. We have donut cookie pages. Sorry, you know. You can see the little teeny tiny hinges. And then that's our bag. It's got our name on it. There's our fancy little card and our fancy little envelope. Ta-da! Photo montage! Oh, I so appreciate each and every one of you. Your kind comments, your likes, your shares, and your subscriptions. Please be sure to follow the links in the description below this here handy dandy food book art video. Fun stuff, y'all. Thanks for watching, and happy arting, y'all. Book art cookie.